everybody, I'm Allie and this is Miro, and today we are doing 5 warm-up exercises that's going to help you move your horse's entire body and make sure that you have all your fundamentals down. Now, your first warm-up exercise is always going to move the head and the neck. And so for this, you're just going to ask your horse to give their head and their neck. So you reach halfway up the reins, thumb and forefinger, pull back and release. You want to do this 5 times on each side. And like there, you get a little bit of hesitation. You ask for some intermittent pressure until they give their head nice and soft. So you want to do on both sides at least 5 times, and make sure you watch your hand. Your hand should come back up here to the bottom of your pommel where it normally rests. Once you've got your head and your neck engaged, we want to engage the horse's full back. So that means we are going to ask for the back. Now, the back is not just pulling. You're going to aim for your knees. You're also going to move and contract and release your seat. So that is, I call it, squeezing and releasing your glutes. And you're going to keep your legs off the horse, but in some cases we add a little flutter with our toes. And so we're going to ask the horse to back. So back, take a step, back, take a step, back, take a step. And we want to make sure we get that back straight. So if he starts to move a little bit, I can compensate because I remember his back end is going to move away from my leg. So that's just the basic back. The next exercise we're going to ask is going to be button number 3. Now that is going to be moving the hindquarters. So remember, button number 1 is in front of the girth. That moves the forequarters. Button number 3 is behind the girth, and that moves the hindquarters. Now you tip the nose and the butt goes away. So you have to keep basically your nose is going to be tipped to you just a little bit. So you don't want to go all the way here. If you're all the way here, that tells the horse not to go. So you just want to tip so you see the corner of the eye and you see the corner of the nose. And then we open the door over on the opposite side and we add button number 3. This is called disengaging the hindquarters. And we're going to move the back end of the horse around the front end. So button number 3, button number 3. Good. Now, ultimately, I want this leg to kind of dig in, and I'm going to ask him to move his hindquarters. So I kind of sit up straight, and I'll ask him to move a little bit better. So that is moving the hindquarters. Our next exercise is going to be moving the forequarters, and that means moving the front end of the horse. That is going to be button number 1. That is in front of the girth. So if I want to go to the right, button number 1 on the left, open up the door to the right. We're going to add outside rein, which is this is going to go up against his neck. That is outside rein. And we're going to add a little bit of inside rein, which is a direct rein. So indirect, direct, open the door, the direction you want to go, and ask with button number 1. So if I want to go right, there's button number 1. And I'm looking for a crossover in the front end. Ooh. So once we get one side, now we're going to go back to the other. Open the door the direction you want to go. Close the door. And button number 1, keep him from walking forward. And we want that cross. Cross. Come on. Now, if you have a reining horse, this is the start to your, like a reining horse spin. But this moving the forequarters is usually going to be the hardest thing that you have to do and that you have to get good practice on. So the forequarters, once you get going backwards, you can always ask them to turn, and that's going to help move your forequarters as well. So our final exercise is going to be the side pass. That utilizes button number 2, which is in the center of the horse. We want to cross in the front, cross in the back. Now, we're going to use a fence to do this and to practice on it, but you have your fundamentals down when you're able to do this. Nose to fence, button number 3, and then I move button number 2 and keep him moving to the side. Now, he kind of gave me a little bit of a push there. So from this exercise, I know he's moving to the right a little bit more stiffly, and I want to ask him to move a little bit better. But your side pass is definitely going to be the last of your fundamentals that you really have to work on, and make sure your side pass is real nice. And those are always some great warm-up exercises that if you know you're not having any problems with that, you're definitely going to have a good ride. Thank you so much for joining us on today's exercises. And if you enjoyed our lesson, please give us a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And remember, to see more, check out our playlist.